Okay.
You're
so stupid.
Okay, action.
Action. So we're here at the beautiful Banff Springs Hotel in Banff, Alberta, and this is considered the castle in the mountains.
It's awesome.
I have the beautiful Annie,
Aw,
who is
you.
visiting here from the States, and
Be nice.
her partner,
Not
Troy.
as beautiful,
Troy, not as beautiful,
but funnier.
But funnier.
yeah, much funnier. And
Yeah.
I wanted to just let Troy speak for how he learned about being a part of this program without actually knowing that he was a part of the program. So
The program that we're speaking about is
creating
your
conscious
program,
spaces,
Creating
which is
conscious
very
spaces.
for
important.
entrepreneurs.
Yes,
I was not necessarily forced into a Zoom meeting, but
kind of. A little bit.
a little bit. I was told I had to be somewhere, and all of a sudden, feng shui is a thing. It's something that I might have heard something about in California a few times. But then actually drawing my space out and then going through my space, my bedroom being my space, and then giving it to you, finding out how
It was a mess.
It was a mess.
toxic
Yes.
my sleeping
That's a good
environment
word.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much I needed to make so many changes. I was blown away, and it was a fun transition.
Yeah.
And I was actually really excited about it because when you first told me all of it, it didn't sink in, and it didn't really sink in until the word sanctuary was said. Because when you told me that where I sleep needed to be a sanctuary, I fully understood that it needed to be a sanctuary in the sense that I needed to reset, heal, emotional credits, whatever you're doing at night when you're sleeping, and then when you wake up in the day, you want to have a space that's not necessarily dictated by the papers that are out. I had an office in my bedroom, filing cabinets.
Mm-hmm. And a picture of Jesus on the wall. Just
Okay,
saying.
so let me just little backtrack.
Well, I
When
don't think we
when
should say
Troy and it's okay. When
Hey.
Troy and Annie were actually came into this meeting, Troy was kind of going, I don't really get this. So let's like backtrack and can you explain a little bit about it? And so that's when we said, okay, let's work with your space. And that's when we said, okay, well, let's talk about your bedroom because the bedroom is where our bodies rest and we rejuvenate at night so that when the next day we come into a day of feeling really empowered and energized and good. So this is where the whole thing happened with you in your space and you started to share what was going on in a personal basis. He was very open about that. And yeah, he had his office in his bedroom with a filing cabinet with a lot of paperwork. You had things under your bed.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't sleeping well. So yeah, so since then,
since then, of course, just being inside my bedroom feels better. My middle child came in just last week and said, "Dad, your desk is gone." I said, "It's been gone for a couple months, but thanks for noticing."
Yeah.
I think it's the whole less is more theory, and I feel like it's more. I mean, my bedroom is relatively large. It's not a small bedroom, so it feels extremely open. I don't have much in there. Just an armoire. I have 2 nightstands and a bed. Still working on a couple things that I need. Definitely working on a headboard situation, but
What do you remember about the headboard?
I remember a lot of stuff about the headboard. I remember a lot about being wood. I remember also about the natural products for even some of the sheets. I remember
headboard is like the universe has your back.
Yes, and one thing that I think that I really loved was the opposing side of the wall where you lay your head at. The landscape being healthy and green and taking care of it, making sure it's manicured, like that resonated with me big time because, of course, I find peace in my yards, and I think that's just nice because the inside of your house looks nice, the outside should match. So I think it just all kind of resonated.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so since we first met, and we only did this is the second time, by the way, that I've met.
Yeah, 5-month period probably.
You have incorporated a lot of the practices that
Yes.
I suggest. It's up to you guys if you want to do it. But since then, what has happened on a personal business with your
Oh, well,
nonprofit? Tell us.
I think a lot of it is just, kind of healing. I just think it's smart space conscious thinking. I think it kind of keeps your mind clean when you wake up. Even though you have to do whatever you need to do throughout the day, you're not literally getting up, walking out of your bed, staring at it. And I think just that has allowed kind of me to heal with some things that I've gone through personally, but also working with what we do together, Annie and myself, Cancer Concierge, that whole thing, I would say I think it kind of puts your mind in a different space.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily think of feng shui. It's
Right.
just not a part of like every man's day-to-day 9 to 5. And then just even having that, like walking in your room and saying, hey, I did this.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things that I did. And I have my notes there and I remember a lot of it. There's some things I haven't done that I still think, still I would like to do. I would love the wooden bed frame. I think I get that. It makes sense. Electricity, energy, grounding, and the more that we do, the more people that we work with, all these different doctors, different people that practice different styles of medicine and healing, and you start learning more and more about energy and how important it is, and how much it can change, your entire life, your mood, your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You learn just how important it is to make sure that your space kind of gels with practice what you preach.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for anybody that is saying, is this just feng shui? I'm going to say no. It's beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond. Feng shui is a set of rules, 4,000 years old, that was developed at a time when there wasn't a lot of things that were going on. But I want to say this program is incorporating everything that we are surrounded with today. And yes, we talk about the ancient practice of feng shui, Vatsu, geomancy, electromagnetic frequency. I just married it all together because I've seen so many people shift and change their lives based on little things like we talked about with your husband, copper wire, headboards, what you put under your bed, how your bed is faced, whether we have electronics in our bedrooms. If you are going through any challenges health wise, this couple here, there's a third person that's part of their team who isn't here. They developed Cancer Concierge because Annie was discovering a lot of people were coming into her hair salon and needing to get their hair cut while they were going through treatment. And if any of you have ever gone to a hair salon, you know the stylist is there and they're like a bartender. They hear your whole life story. And I think that somewhere along the way, you decided that working with people and their bodies and healing was something that really resonated with herself.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. It started actually a long time ago when this amazing worldwide minister looked at me and he said, God has something huge planned for you. And I was like, well, I'm not teaching Sunday school. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not talking about that. And it's always sat on the back of my shoulder. And then it was my best friend's mom. And I went through her cancer journey with her, shaving her head, getting her the wigs, giving her facials, food. And then I just had an extremely high number of clients come through my chair. High number. It's like, really? Another one is getting cancer? But that was all priming me and prepping me to realize what needed to be out there and the lack of wellness information that's out there. And so basically what our nonprofit is it deals with the mind, body, and soul connection. And if you're not right with the mind, body, and soul, you're going to have a really hard time with your cancer journey.
And the only thing I would add to that, Annie, is the fact that there's just a lack of knowledge that people really don't know what to do. They don't know where to go.
Right.
All of a sudden, they're being hit with this new life journey, and they're kind of facing the situation, and they need to know what resources they have. They need to know what options they have. One thing about Cancer Concierge is that we focus on this being an amazing resource platform. Right. Come here. This is all the things that you can do. These are different options. We aren't against Western medicine at all. We just want to be a supplement. Different options that you can do with it. We love our doctors. We love all the doctors we work with. We also love all the private practices there's just so many ideas out there, and there's so much new stuff being discovered every day with cancer and research that it's just important to make sure that someone has a voice, a place to go to, and a platform to get some of those resources. I think that's kind of, the other end of that.
Yeah, it's dealing with everything from we're marrying and partnering with Western medicine.
Beautiful.
But we're bringing in a holistic and energetic feel to it. And everything from counseling to Reiki to massages, facials. Communities,
people,
yeah.
connected
So they're not
with
alone.
other people
Yeah.
to join the journey with them.
100%.
And
Yeah.
they're going to bond friendships that they'll more than likely have for the rest of their lives.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and the biggest thing that I think that we love marrying this with you is because we are coming from a little bit of a different position. And so anything that you can do to help keep your home, your environment with good energy, because you don't want to bring in any extra stuff that's going to feel heavy because you're already going through so much as it is. So that's
100%.
why I love the creating conscious spaces for that purpose. So
Yeah.
it's huge. It's huge. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, creating that space inside your home, especially when you're going through any type of journey, when you find out that your life just got altered a little bit. There's solace to clearing out your space, and I think it's something that when you do it, you actually end up, it's energizing, and I think as well as energizing, it's grounding, and that just feels really good, and that's how I felt when I was doing it. So.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So just something I'm going to share on a side note is, and I don't know if I've shared this with you, but as a young girl, I experienced my mother having cancer from age 14 to 16, and she died just before my 17th birthday. And in those days, cancer was a death sentence, 100%.
Yeah. It's
We
not
didn't
anymore.
have any of the tools on the Western medical, or even with the sort of spiritual, holistic, all of that wasn't available, and we didn't have the contacts to reach out to. Somewhere in that process, I recognized that whatever I chose to do in my life had to have an incorporation of taking care of mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe, and then 2013, I had a near-death experience. So I'm not fearful of dying, but I'm also very aware that we can change so much in our environment, not just in our physical environment, which is what we talk about in creating conscious spaces, but we also have the element of what goes on in here and what goes on in here. We marry that and we bring up the vibration of our space to the energy of believing.
Yeah.
You truly have to believe that this is not a death sentence. This is just a hiccup in your life. And it's your space talking to you. It's your body talking to you and saying something needs to shift, something needs to change, so that we can actually be a co-creator and not be at the effect. Because a lot of people, when they find out, or they being diagnosed with whatever it is, they believe that they're now at the effect of the guy behind, saying this is what's happening. And I'm a believer in saying, guess what? This is your body.
Right.
And you can now change the energy around it, and you can change the energy around your space and the energy up here and in here. So what are you going to do? Right. If you've got tools, this is the perfect time to do this.
Yeah.
I'm
100%.
excited.
We're excited. Well, and our new favorite person that we listen to, personal development person, her name is Jen Gottlieb.
Yeah.
And her saying that she says, and we've actually lived this, but we never had a little acronym for it. Her saying that she says is, every day you're going to do hope. And hope stands for help one person every day.
100%.
Help one person every day. And so that's our goal, is to help one person every day. And so if it can be even as simple as, here's a checklist, you just got diagnosed, let's make your environment in your home and your room more energetically healing. Why would we not do that? Why isn't everybody doing this?
100%.
So that's our goal, is to get this out to everybody.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
It's
stay
exciting.
tuned, because I really believe that we're not done.
We're not done.
By the way.
No.
No.
And I really.
You're so lucky.
Yeah. I get that we're
More to come.
probably going to put on some kind of a webinar where we'll just invite people to come, ask their questions. I'm happy to talk to you about your physical space. We can use a couple of examples. And my sense, my target when I sort of chose to not die but come back into this beautiful body is to change the world one space at a time. That's my target. And that starts with your space and your space and your space and your space and my space. Like, we can all change the world. And it starts, we know what's going on in the world right now.
Right.
It's a bit of a shit show.
It is.
But we can start with one space and we can just domino effect changing the energy for everybody so that people can live in their sanctuary, go home to their sanctuary, feel safe, confident, healthy, and everything will start to be successful in their lives, from their health to their mental well-being to their businesses, everything.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the business aspect of it, for sure. I feel like, I mean, I know for me, you know, like, my career is just taking off, and it's been amazing to watch it happen, and I feel like just the organization, keeping my space kind of clean and clutter free is really important.
Awesome.
I mean, I have one of the most beautiful linen closets on the face of the earth. I mean, it is amazing.
Good.
You don't normally see pantries. I mean, thanks to you and Annie, and it was kind of fun because it was like, where do we not want stuff to be? You know, we don't want anything on the floor. I mean, that is kind of, I mean, I've incorporated that into everything that I do. Nothing on the floor.
No dead bodies.
No.
Whoa, thank you.
Yes, no dead bodies on the floor.
Yeah, you've elevated your energy. As soon as you bring things off the floor, you're elevating your energy. 100%.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Well, I'm thrilled that you guys are here, and
we are too.
We just did this impromptu, and if you have any questions, send me a DM. Follow me on YouTube. And you've got these beautiful people. We'll make sure that all their links for Cancer Concierge is here, below somewhere here. And anything you want to share? Any other last minute?
Gosh, what else? I think just being aware. Like, you can just walk into a home now and a space and feel if it's good or not. We were all, Bruce and Troy and I were all in Spokane, like right before we got up here, and we were at another hotel that was 100+ years old. And Troy and I were talking, we're like, ooh, you can feel some of the pain and old some energy. Of this old bad energy. And I didn't feel that walking in here at all. Like, it's a different kind of an energy, and you can feel it's not like a dark, heavy feel. They just don't have that feeling in this space, but you had it definitely in the other space. And it's like, you guys need to do some clearing in here. Like, there's some stuff that they should be doing.
I mean, the one thing that I would say that, I mean, if I was going to add anything that I think is the most important, I think the actual physical action of taking action
100%
helps your mind actually take the change that it needs to take, so that you start accepting all the rest of what you think is crazy to be just your new normal. You're like, that's not crazy. That idea of that energy or whatever goofy thing that person's doing or saying, because, you know, I tend to have some redneck tendencies, and when I see certain things, I just sit there and go, that's
just a little,
you know. And now I'm just kind of like,
he's like way open his mind
here, I'm gonna touch that paper, because I want to feel it. I'm gonna sit here. I try not to be in a hurry as much, because that is definitely something that I struggle with sometimes.
Well, and even like you have taught before, so Troy's going, I'm just gonna say it because it's gonna come out anyways. Troy just went through a divorce, and then just getting, and I've seen a change in him since he's gotten the old energy out of the home.
Oh yeah.
His, like you said, his business is doing better. His relationship with his kids are doing better. Like, he had to physically remove some of that old stuff, and we actually had an old toxic friendship that she had given us a bunch of things for our home. And we've gotten rid of all of it except for one table, which you can have that table if you want, by the way. It's our outdoor table. That's
when you say no thank you.
It's our one last thing from her, but we've gotten every single thing else from her out of our home, and it's lightened everything up. And so
Oh.
anything that we bring in now, or that I'm very aware of, walking into my space and be like, okay, I need this area cleaned up. I need this stuff out of here. I need it. Just, you're just so much more aware of it. And at the salon too, like we had all kinds of stuff and drama happening, and we had all this. We had a partner who stole over $100,000 from us, and just getting her stuff out of there, I was like, oh my God, we need to cleanse this. We actually saged it because it was like her juju is still here. We got all of her stuff out of there.
Wow.
And as soon as we got it out of there, the whole office just like
Lifted.
It's light. Yeah.
I love it.
Light and love. That's what we're about. Cancer Concierge is about light and love. And so anything that doesn't feel light and love, I'm like, we got to work on this because it just doesn't feel right. And I'm just made aware of that because of my time with you and my weekly call sessions with you. And I learned so much. So even if I'm just sitting there working on something and you're working with somebody else, then I'm listening to what you're saying and giving her the information. And it's very, it's a lot. It's a lot of good information. I learn a lot. I've learned a lot.
That's
Troy
awesome.
attend. Carly
Oh my
attend.
gosh, I've
you know,
passed on so much.
Yeah.
I've, there's a term that is sometimes used to describe me, aggressively helpful.
Aggressively helpful?
Yes, I was going to get him. He's like, I'm not bossy. He's not bossy. He's aggressively helpful.
Okay.
Really aggressively
But it's
helpful.
like I sit there and I see people's face. It's like, okay, you gotta just, you just want to tell them a little bit. But I sit there, next thing you know, I'm going
He's
like,
just
oh gosh,
verbally vomited everything all over.
Really
He's like,
make some changes here.
that sucks.
So
that
happy.
sucks. That sucks. Change this.
Gotta
like,
go.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
But
cool.
it's
well,
it's cool. The one thing I will say for any of you that are wanting to jump in, sometimes the best course of action is to ask, well, what's going on in your world?
Of course.
Because I've always said this, spaces are a reflection of what's going on in our lives. So if you've got a shit show going on in your life, chances are your space has got a little bit of a shit show somewhere. Is going on, whether it's behind a closed door, in a room, in a cupboard, in a drawer. And as soon as we can find out what's going on in here and we start to let it go and release it, then everything else will fall into place. So just come from a space of kindness with people.
We're working on that.
Yeah. And it's taken you as long as it has since we last met. Yeah. And there's still some things you haven't incorporated. So give grace to the people that are coming to you and let them choose the pace of when they're going to be ready to let things go and move
We've
forward.
talked about that, giving grace and giving space.
There's no should.
Yeah. So,
we're good to use.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So any questions, guys, please reach out. I've been doing this for 3 decades.
Yeah, she's good. She knows what she's doing.
I know what I'm doing.
For sure.
And
amazing for the fact that she's only 27.
Right. Exactly. Let this go. Yep. I'm not even going to change his mind on that one. I'm going to go with it. I love these guys in the States. Okay. You're welcome anytime in Canada.
Okay. We're entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sending you guys all big hugs. Hugs to you in your space. Hugs to you in your spaces, my friends. And let's change the world one space at a time and start with you guys.
Very good.
All right.
Love it.
Thank you.
Oh. Love it. Love you.
Okay.
That was good.